evening, District 38. I am so excited for tonight's masterclass. Whether you know it or not, we have one of the best district web pages in all of Toastmasters. I have had to go out to Toastmaster International districts in order to find out who is their PQD, who's their club growth director for various different reasons. And I have to tell you, I have not seen one site that beats ours with the amount of information, ways to recognize people, and just all the fantastic information out there. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to the creator of our website, Michael Friedlander.
Thank you very much, Chris, for that wonderful welcome, singing my praises. Yes, I think we do have an excellent website. And tonight I will show you what's hidden behind the menus. Actually, it's pretty easy to find if you just poke around. And remember, you can't break anything. Okay, a little bit about me. My wife and I joined Toastmasters in 2003. We were living in the New York City area, and we're both distinguished Toastmasters. We moved to Pennsylvania in 2014, and I joined Chester County Toastmasters shortly thereafter. And I've been the District 38 area director, Division B director last year, and the public relations manager a few years ago, and webmaster for 5, 6 years. I don't remember. Anyway, okay, so we're going to be exploring the district website, and I'm going to get started here just sharing the screen, and so you'll be able to focus on the website, and I'll be off on the side wherever you need me, but the website is the important thing here. First, I just wanted to mention that the website is designed around the mission of the district, and the mission of the district is building new clubs and supporting all clubs and achieving excellence. Now, you'll see if you poke around in other districts, as Chris had mentioned, some district websites are more new member or prospect focused when you look at them initially. But our mission here is really to support the clubs, and my mission is to do that and support the functions of the district and make things easier for the district. So there's not a whole lot of prospect-centered content, although there is some, and I'll show you that, and especially how the district website makes it easy for a prospect to find your club and to send you a message. Okay, so let's get started on the homepage. First of all, you have no need to log into the website. In fact, login credentials are only provided to area directors and division directors so they can post their contests and the results of their contests, and to the TLI team, the officer training team, so they can post trainings. Where you see forms, they are open to the public, and that means if a form is open, then I'll need to approve a posting, and we'll get to that, and I'll explain what that means. But just remember, while you do need to log into the Toastmasters International website, here there's nothing behind any walls. You can see everything. It's all available to you without any login. Okay, so starting from the top, we normally focus on what's important to the district, what's relevant, what's coming up soon. And here, of urgency is you must submit your distinguished club. In order to attain a distinguished club award this year, it's a new requirement that you submit a club success plan. And the summer training focused very much on the club success plan, incredibly valuable. And there's a incentive award associated with that if you get it in by the 29th. So anyway, so this is a countdown clock letting everybody know. Then we have the picnic, which is coming up soon, and a reiteration of that district dollars incentive for submitting your club success plan. So that's stuff that is topical, it's urgent, and that's why it's up at the top of the screen. When you scroll down a bit, now you'll see the masterclass sessions, and those are always going to be available on the homepage. And then if you click on one of these, you'll go into the calendar, and I'll show you that shortly, but it's easy enough to get in there by clicking on View All Masterclass Sessions or from the main menu. Then down here, we have all of the incentive awards that were recently announced. And we won't look at all of these, just a couple, to point out some of the points that you'll need to keep in mind if you're submitting to win one of these awards. And I'll show you where on the district website you can find out if you have won an award, if your club has won an award. We're always looking for volunteers. So you can find out more if you click on that. It'll bring up a form if you want to volunteer. But down at the bottom, you will also find reminders of what's going on currently. So what this week in District 38, anything that's happening the current week. So beginning Sunday through the end of the week will show up here. Then what we call the big picture is a broader picture of stuff that's going on in Toastmasters and the district. When something starts, when something ends, we give you the beginning and ending dates. And as you can see, there's the Smedley Award as a membership, 5 or more members until September 30th, and a discount on purchases and a ribbon for your banner. And then a masterclass calendar. And over on the right, we have links to social media pages. So please take a look at that if you're on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn. And of course, this recording will be posted on YouTube, and you'll find it several days after the recording, and you can go back and watch the masterclass recordings. I'm not going to jump over there. You can click on that or bring up YouTube and look for District 38 and you'll find it. And then we have an open roll calendar, and that's if your club needs some help. And I'll show you how to post that. And then down at the very bottom, the information disclaimer that is required by Toastmaster for all district websites. Now on the right side of the page, we have some stuff that's going on as in addition to recognition. So the Megaphone is a podcast that's posted by the district, and those are really interesting. Click on that link and you'll go into, and you can see all of the podcast sessions. Chris Hulse has taken on that role in producing those podcasts. We have some branded merchandise that you can look at if you're interested in acquiring something so you can promote the district. Then every month, or most months, there will be clubs that are celebrating 5-year milestone anniversaries. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I'll show you where you find those, and you can see if your club is celebrating an anniversary. You may want to remind everybody, oh, we're celebrating our 25th, let's plan a party, and let's let our area director and division director know so they can help us celebrate. I'll show you that, but we put up the current month's anniversaries here. Then if you want to acknowledge your member, a new member who's given their icebreaker, the district is sending out a very special gift to them, and that goes through the mail. So I'll show you where you get those, but you want to do it after someone gives their icebreaker. We are celebrating the distinguished clubs from last year and also member achievements from this year, and I'll show you where you look at that. Okay, let's go back up to the top of the page. Now, I did say that this is primarily focused on clubs, club resources, and facilitating district events and processes. And so district leaders can post training, they can post contests, and that's for area and division and district level. And those, to do that, you have to have a login, you have to have login credentials. And again, you're looking at everything tonight that's available to you without login. Okay, but we do want to help you get guests so you can build your clubs. Now, if you go to Toastmasters International, you'll remember that there's a Find a Club button. And their Find a Club searches everywhere in the world. If you put in a destination, it'll bring up some clubs. It's a little awkward. Frankly, you can't put in Pennsylvania and find the Pennsylvania clubs, or Chester County, you can't find those clubs, or York or wherever. On our website, however, we have Find a Toastmasters Club, or click on this button, and it brings you to this page. And on this page, in my opinion, this is a way easier way for someone to find a club in which they might be, or to which they might want to visit, or in which they're interested. Because you can search by type, by state, by the day of the meeting, by online hybrid or in-person format, the time of day, morning, lunch, afternoon, evening, and so forth. And the information comes from your club's record on Club Central. So it's critical whether someone's searching on the TI website or they're searching on this website, we get that information from your club's record on Club Central. You have to make sure that the demographic information and the meeting information is up to date. And please, if you haven't done that, as well as the contact, because what we do when someone clicks on, I'm going to pick my own club, my own home club. If I click on Visit Club, it will bring up a form that the prospect can fill out. And when they click on Arrange Your Club Visit, it will send the club contact an email saying, this person wants to visit your club, please respond to them. Now you'll get a similar kind of notice from TI when they have prospective members that find your club on TI and they want to visit. But this one, again, is restricted to only our district. And this email goes to the club contact. A copy is also sent to the prospect. So they have that information, and it will give them the contact's email as well. We don't put that up on the website, but when someone requests to visit a club, we do let them know. So in case they don't get a prompt follow-up, they can remind the club, hey, you know, I'm looking for some information. My suggestion to you as an officer is you click on your own club's contact and maybe use your friend's name but your own email address. See how long it takes to get a response. You know, it's like the corporate CEO who calls the switchboard to find out how well things are working. I suggest you find out for yourself how well stuff's working at your club. Okay, enough said. So now for you as an officer, or as a member. We have multiple calendars. This is the district calendar, and club, not club events, but district events, division events will show up on here. These are all master classes, officer training, contests. As you see, the Area 33 contest is posted. All of the contests will show up on this calendar, as well as district events that the district posts. Now, there's a broader calendar, which is the timeline. And if you want to know, plan ahead, you can look at the entire year in advance. I'm given this in July, and this is what the district plans out for the coming year. And here, especially if you're a club officer or area division director, you want to take a look at this, make sure you've noted in your own calendar when special things are happening. So that was under current events. Here's the masterclass calendar. This is what we're in a masterclass right now. And as you saw on the homepage, we have the masterclasses. And if you click on one of these, it will take you to this calendar. And Chris has been posting all the masterclasses, and she gives me the graphics that I post on the homepage. And I think we're probably missing a couple of graphics, Chris. So, because I think there's only, 3 on there. So maybe we need to catch up with some of those. We'll get those posted. And of course, these are online. You click on register online, and it will take you to the registration page, which is a Zoom page. Okay, the incentive awards. I mentioned the district dollars uploading your club success plan. That's handled on the Toastmasters International website. You go into Club Central, you'll find the club success plan. You fill that out online, or if you do it on paper, you have to upload it, or rather PDF, you have to upload it. And the award will be automatic based on when you uploaded that. You have to do it before the actual deadline of the 30th. You have to do it by the 29th in order to qualify for the incentive. And the reason for that is, the last minute, the TI website gets a little backed up. And you probably know that from trying to renew at the last minute, or trying to add a member at the end of the month or the very beginning of the month. Stuff, especially the end of June, stuff can get backed up. And so because this is now worldwide, right, in order to get that DCP award, you have to submit this plan worldwide. They could be a little sluggish. That's why we made the deadline the 29th. Okay, there's an open house incentive, and I'm going to just take a look at that because this is the way most of them look. And I wanted to point out that the award here is for $50 in reimbursements for putting on your open house. And that means that you're going to be able to submit the expenses on Concur. And we'll touch on Concur a little bit later. If you don't know what that's about, that is the Fortune 5,000, 1,000 SAP software that big corporations use for submitting and paying expenses. And the district, or in fact, all districts are using that. So there are requirements for reimbursement. And one of them is advertising your open house. And one way you can do that is by posting it on the district website. I'll show you how you do that. But you want to make sure that if you look at any of these incentives, you make sure that you look at the requirements and then look at the way you claim it and make sure that you follow the instructions for claiming. So visiting clubs around the district is another way of you becoming familiar with and meeting other Toastmasters within the district, networking for yourself, but also possibly winning some awards. So that's the club and member incentive awards, and that's also under clubs. Sometimes there are several things that are posted in multiple places. It makes it easy for you to find. Okay, the Megaphone podcast actually goes out to another website. This is multiple podcasts, really interesting to listen to, and I suggest that you give them a listen. The special event calendar. Okay, here's where you can post your open house. And as you can see, several clubs have open houses posted. And the way you do that for your own club, or if you're an area or division director, you want to post an event, you can do that. But don't post contests. We have only area and division contests are posted on the website, and those directors log in order to post their contests. They don't post them here. So you can either post an in-person event or an online event. And all you do is click the button. And if you want to post your event, then you just choose the type, you fill this stuff out, the date. I think you can post up to 7 weeks in advance. I think it says 6, but it goes out a little further. Fill in everything where it's required. You can put in information here. A little spam reduction is we make you do a little addition. That changes every hour, so the number changes. And then you click on add the event. Now, your event is sent to me, so I can look at it to make sure that it complies with district policy and make sure that a spammer hasn't tried to spam the district by posting some junk on there. And surprisingly, I haven't really encountered anyone doing that, probably because they know it gets manually reviewed. And normally I do it the same day I get it, or it may be the next day. But this is how you would post your own events. And if you have a special meeting or a speech-a-thon or an open house, you can post it this way. If you need help for a meeting, you can create an invitation, and the form looks very similar. You choose your club. So we have a list of all the clubs in the district. You fill in all the other information and add the new guest invitation. I also approve those, which is fine. Normally the same or next day. And that goes up, and it appears down here at the bottom and also on the open roles calendar. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, okay, you don't have enough evaluators, or you've got some very advanced speakers, and maybe you don't have members with enough experience, so you're looking for a more advanced evaluator, or you're trying to fill a meeting and you don't have enough speakers. So you can post if you need some help. And also, for any kind of special purpose, you're looking for a speaker on a particular subject, whatever, you can post that here, and it'll be available to everybody in the district. Okay, distinguished clubs. Over here on the homepage, this button goes to this page. And if your club won an award last year, I suggest that if you right-click on your ribbon here, on the ribbon image, and say copy image, or I'm going to open it in a new tab, and I go there, and then you right-click and you can say download, save image. You can post this on your website, or you could post it in an email. So your club could get a little, or social media, you could get some cred there. And these very closely match the actual ribbons, as close as I could create them in Photoshop. So if your club won a ribbon, you might want to let everybody know. And in fact, Chester County Toastmasters, as I said, is my home club. We have that right at the top of our website. And we use Easy Speak. It posts right up there. If I have time, I'll show you how you do that. Okay, educational achievements. How's your club doing as far as achievements? We want to celebrate those. And so we post them. Now, these are available on the TI website as well. But on the TI website, if a member has said, I don't want my name to be promoted in that list of achievement, it'll show up there with the club and the award, but there'll be no name. Here, we don't post the ones with no name because that would be a little silly. So here we are recognizing those people who have achieved some award during the month, and we go back to the beginning of the year. And the little icons here, if you click on that, you'll see that there's a graphic. And if the member wants to download that, you do it the same way. You click on it and then say save image. They can post that on their social media if they want. And you have a graphic for each of the levels as well. We have a different graphic for, let's see, that was IP, this is MS. So there's a different one for each of the levels. Okay, now what you'll notice is on the report, they show you level 5, but they don't actually show you that you completed the path. And you'll note that the Distinguished Club program no longer gives you credit for level 5s. So as an aside, you get credit for a DTM, a level 4, or a path completion, which is not the same as a level 5. You need to give one more, you got one more speech to give, reviewing your path before you actually complete the path. So that's a little different this year. Okay, let's go on to clubs. Now, we have the Find a Club, which is the main one that I showed you. If you're only interested in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or advanced, it looks very similar. It's only going to show you the ones in that state. And these are just New Jersey. Now, if you go to Find a Club, you can sort it by state, so it really doesn't matter. But this is just something that makes it a little easier. Okay, we have clubs by location, clubs by division and area, clubs by historical reports, and I'm going to show you those. So, clubs by location. Online clubs on the top here, and then we have them by, again, the information that's on Club Central. So I recommend you take a look and make sure that your club is attributed correctly. Now, in addition, you can click the listing allows you to click on DCP and you'll be able to view the Distinguished Club program. It shows you that there is a club website. You can click on that and go to the club website. And it shows you whether or not the club meets online. Now, there's lots of clubs that meet online only. These clubs would meet as hybrids. Okay, so that's by location. So if somebody's looking, if somebody's looking for a club and they don't use the Find a Club, they can also find things this way. Division and area. You want to know, okay, I forgot, who's my area director? Go look here, find your club, and you'll find out who your area director is. And again, the same kind of links. This one, the club link, the club number link will take you to the Toastmasters International. I'm clicked on 946. It takes you to the TI listing. So you can check that to make sure that's correct. Okay. And then the historical reports, if you're a club officer, it's really helpful to know how your club did in the past. And I think certainly for area and division directors, for an area director, when I was division director last year, I advise my area directors the first thing you should do before you visit is get some history of the club. Find out how well they're doing compared to previous years. Because sometimes there can be patterns. And one way of researching that is by clicking here. I'm going to click on DCP history, and that takes me to an external website. And this gives you from the 2004-5 year, 20 years of history for this particular club. And you can look back and see, and you'll see patterns occurring in how many awards were gained and in membership. And it's really interesting to look back to see, because you'll find, what happened that year. Did we have a particularly good year or not such a great year? And you'll be able, in discovering your history, it will tell you things about how you may want to improve or augment the management of your own club. Okay, there are other history links that can show you other things. The member awards one, remember I showed you the current year. This one goes back to 2003. So again, you may see, and this one has no member names on it whatsoever, because TI, it's not a TI report. I'll show you where you can get the historical reports from TI. But if you're interested, you can go look at those. Okay. Let's move to the anniversaries. I promised that we'd look at this. And this is, again, all the 5-year milestone anniversaries. So we have a 70-year anniversary coming up in February. And this month, we've got 2 anniversaries in September, 1 in October. I don't think there are any in November at all this year. And in January, there's a whole bunch, I remember. So if you find your club here, then make some plans to celebrate. Okay, the incentive awards I showed you. You have a member who gave their icebreaker. So you can get there from here, icebreaker recognition request, or on the home page, acknowledge your member, icebreaker recognition, and this is what that's about. Okay, they have to have joined Toastmasters within the past 6 months. They have no educational awards, and they live within the United States because it's something that goes by mail. And so if they joined Toastmasters 3 years ago and left and then joined your club, they don't qualify and they won't be, they won't be available. And the way it works is you select your club. So I'm going to select Chester County again. And then it searches for the members who are in the club who qualify. And it shows you the first name and the last initial. And so you will click on who that is, the date of the speech. You put in your name so we can contact you if there's a question. And then there's a box, I will enter the member's preferred mailing address. That really only pertains to corporate clubs where the addresses are all the address of the company. So for open clubs, and in fact for most clubs, that won't be the case. You don't need to use that. And you'll know if you're an officer of your club, you'll probably know when you look at your roster that all the addresses are your company's address. In that case, you want to put in the mailing address, but you won't normally need to do that. It will come out of the member's record. And then we ask you how many legs a dog has. And again, that's an anti-spam thing. So that's how, and then very shortly thereafter, the district will send out a nice gift for the member. Okay, the special event calendar I showed you, open roles I showed you, district dollars. If you qualified for an award that pays in district dollars, and that's money that you can spend for reimbursable expenses, you submit your expense through Concur. It'll show up. None have been posted this year yet. It'll show up that you've earned the award amount. It'll show up here how much the balance is, and if you reimburse, any was reimbursed to you. And so if you're familiar with Concur, that's how you submit your expense. If you're not familiar with Concur and you don't have an account, then you go to Finance and you go in here, and I'll show you that shortly. And that's how you'll request a Concur account. Mostly, it's only the club officer, one club officer, the president or the treasurer will be requesting that account. If you're a club member and you've taken on the responsibility for hosting the open house, and you've paid for everything out of your wallet, you can request an account, and the district will reimburse you if they're qualifying expenses. Okay, I showed you distinguished clubs. We'll go to district leaders, and since I'm talking about this, let's go to district dollars and expense reporting. And this shows you, this is an FAQ, this shows you all about it and all about Concur, what is Concur, and so forth. And if you don't have an account, this is how you request one. And the district treasurer will, let's see if, is
Finance director.
finance, yeah, finance manager, sorry, club treasurer, finance manager, right. The district finance manager, Joshua Smith will approve, you submit your request, and then you'll be able to log into the Concur account. It requires two-factor authentication. If you're not familiar with that, it's another hoop to jump through. But anyway, this is how you get reimbursed. And they went to that quite a number of years ago. The districts used to have to write checks, and it was a big burden on the district. And now having a centralized payment system, it's a little more work for the individual members, but it's a tremendous burden taken off of one person, the district finance manager. And so it was a good move on the part of Toastmasters to go to that way. Okay, so that's finance, and that's where you can either see the district dollars report or expense reporting. If you want to know how to get in touch with a district officer, all you do is look for them here and then click on contact. We don't list their addresses any longer because there was too much spam. Nefarious people would go through, especially district websites. They would go through, they would cull all of the email addresses, and they would spam the people who had addresses. Now, if you want to send an email, it's easy enough to do. Just fill out the form. They get an email, you get a copy. And if they respond to you, they'll be responding to you via their own email. So once they respond to you, you'll have their email address. That's how you can contact any officer. And if you're looking to contact your area director or division director, same process. You just find out who you want to contact. And if you don't remember who that is, you go to clubs by division and area, and then go find your club, and you'll find the name of your area and division director. Your first point of contact, of course, is your area director. Okay, we were over here. Volunteers wanted is a form. If you want to volunteer and you think you would be a good fit for a position, you can fill this out, help the district, and perhaps gain a credit towards your distinguished club program. So if you're a club coach, club mentor, public relations manager, various things, you get credit for 1 year district service. You don't have to only be an area director or division director. You can get that 1 year of service different ways. Submit new club leads. Okay, so you know about a club that may want to form. You can submit it this way, or you can just send an email to Michelle Brown. She'd love to hear from you. I know about a club. You can do it that way. Contact her directly, or you can use the form. It goes to her. Performance reports. I'm going to show you these a little bit later, but there's one report, the TI reports I'll show you a bit later, but the TM Tools by George Marshall. George Marshall is a volunteer. He created a whole bunch of tools that are very useful, primarily to the district. But there's lots of tools that you won't find elsewhere, and you can go explore this if you're so inclined. I'm not going to go through this. It's pretty involved, but you can find information going way back and stuff that could be very valuable to you. Okay, now here's where you're going to find a lot of stuff that, gee, I wish I knew how to find it so easily. You probably know that finding things on the Toastmasters International is not so easy. First, you got to know exactly what you're looking for, and then it'll show you a whole bunch of things in a search window. And is it the right one? Is it the wrong one? How do I get here? Yada, yada, yada. So I took the most useful stuff and put links, for most part, these are links to the TI website, because we're not allowed to host their stuff. Links to the TI website so you can go directly there. Now we do have, I want to point out a couple of things. This is good for an overview document for pathways. You want to help somebody choose which path. And it has both the current paths. Remember, they went from 11 down to 6. But it describes all of the paths, and it tells you what is in each path as far as which electives or required projects are in there. But it only gives you the titles. This document, which you can download, and we host it, so you download it directly from us, will give you the detail of every project. So it's 65 pages long. And it not only does it tell you what is in the path, but then you click on the project and it gives you a description of the project. Really valuable. You should definitely have this. And you could print it out and keep it at your meeting. Somebody, a new member, they're interested, what's in this? What's here? If you do new member orientations, you can go right there and describe what's involved, what are the required projects for any path. Okay, we've got a progress tracker, so give that to the member. They can use it as a PDF or on paper, and they can track their progress. And if you put it on a bulletin board, it'll be a reminder, oh, I haven't spoken in a while. I recommend that you make sure all your members have this so they can keep track of how they're moving through pathways. And then some other downloads that might be valuable, pathways related. Contest resources. Okay, the current rule book, download from TI. And for the online speech contest, you'll want to get these two ballots, the tie-breaking and judges ballot, and then to get the rest of the information, you can download any of these kits. Because aside from the judging forms, the kits are all the same. So the judging form actually for this contest is the same as the international speech contest. But of course, the speech, 5 to 7 minutes on any topic, we don't care what you talk about. If you want to win the international, you really have to have an inspiring speech to get past the division level. But anyway, okay, so this is all for contests. These are Zoom backgrounds. Change your background. They're all the right size for that. Club meeting resources. Toastmasters wears many hats is very useful for a new member. It will describe all of the meeting roles. These master your meetings, the best club climate. If you're hurting for guests or you want to build your membership, definitely you want to download those. Moments of truth. Clubs probably should conduct those every year. And this will allow you to download that entire set so you can conduct that in your club. These are manuals that you might want to be interested in. And certainly if you're a coach or a mentor, probably would be good to have those. And promoting a PR, VP PR, how you can promote your club. And then forms that you could give out to the functionaries at a meeting, timer, counter, grammarian, all the roles. You can download those. If your club doesn't have forms already, you can use these. New members, you want to find out what are they interested in. These survey forms. And then if you're looking for templates, we have the templates and these link to the pages on the TI website where you download them. Okay, member resources. They used to give you your speaking voice and evaluation as printed manuals. They don't do that anymore. So these are valuable for a member. You might recommend that your members download this. Again, this one, a Toastmaster wears many hats, describes all the roles, and then similar forms, how I'd like to be introduced. That's good for somebody who has a lot of accomplishments and they want to be introduced a certain way, or for anybody. Marketing resources. So stuff that your VPPR could find useful. These are downloadable flyers that you can print if you have a color printer and then give them out, and you can order them. You can order copies from TI, but you can print your own. And then various flyers. This is all for getting new members. And then the club officer jumpstart. I made this page because as an officer, these are 4 manuals I think every officer should download and be familiar with. Certainly the Club Leadership Handbook and the Distinguished Club Program Handbook, and these were updated, those two, in June of this year. So that's all the stuff that you're probably going to need right at your fingertips, right here. You don't have to go searching around. Okay, go in there, explore, download, click on the links. Remember, it doesn't cost you anything to download this stuff. And if you don't need it, then just delete it. Okay, officer training schedule will be posted here when there are trainings. Trainings are over, but they begin again in November. And as soon as they begin, they'll be posted on the schedule. You want to know who was trained this year? Well, club officers trained, and if you're in bright green, your club trained all 7 of its officers. And so we have a lot this year, and that's attributable to not only the quality of the training, but the fact that we had online and in-person training. And so that made it really easy for people to get to training this year. This is the training schedule, and there are no trainings listed at this time, but come late October, you'll start seeing them posted there. And the Jumpstart is the same thing that I just showed you. Okay, Pathways Resources, I showed you that page. That's the same page. The Educational Program FAQ, that's from TI, and that's a TI page. It's got a bunch of questions on there. If you have questions about pathways, and this is the TI page. Welcome to Pathways. You can maybe direct a prospect here if they want to know more about pathways. You can send them to this page. Now you know where the page is. Okay, contests. The division and area contest schedule is posted here. And these are the dates of your contests. And you have Division A has posted all of their contests. Hurrah for Division A. And then Division F, as looks like as well, has posted all of theirs, area and division contests. So this is how you'll find out when the contests are being held and how to register for the contest. If you're looking for the resources, again, same page as before. This is where for your club you'll download these ballots and then go down and download the kit. The kit has all the forms that you'll need, additional forms. And then our contest advisor created a whole bunch of training videos which are posted on YouTube. If you click on this, it'll open up the YouTube and there's Ann. And I'm not going to play that, but that's how you can get to the training directly. And again, you can go to District 38 Toastmasters, go to videos, and this is where you'll find the masterclass videos as well as other videos. And remember, at the very beginning, I told you that if you click on this link, it'll take you to exactly that same page. So that's the District 38 Toastmasters YouTube page. Okay. TI links. This takes you to TI, same manual that I showed you before. The performance reports. This is, if you want to know how your club's doing and you want to see all the clubs, not only can you look at your own Distinguished Club Program report in many ways, you can do that. You can do it through Club Central, but here you can find how am I doing compared to the other ones. If you're interested, you know, you're a type A and you're competitive, you can go see how the other clubs are doing. Look at all of them here. And you can look at the division and area. There's not quite as much detail here, and then the entire district. And you can go to any district in the world or any year just by dropping down these boxes. Okay. The daily Toastmasters reports, for the most part, if this is most useful to area and division directors, they want to know, has the club paid? So our April or October renewal is coming up. And if I want to see which clubs have paid renewed at least 8 members, I can see that here. Now, on this page, oops, sorry. On this page, you've got buttons, but the fact is that all of those reports are available through the dropdown. So all I did was I created buttons for every one of these dropdowns. And if you know which report you want, you just click on the button. And as I said, educational achievements, We only list the ones where there's a name, and if it says name unavailable, it's not the member's name, but it is the member's number. So if you're an officer and you have a roster, you can actually find out who that is. Um, and we're just about done here. Links. Okay, that's what I showed you, Delhi. If you want to know something, if you want to send me a request for support, you can click on this and it will open up a form. There's something wrong with one of these pages, or I think the site should have this resource, send me an email. If you want to know about Free Toast Hosts, your club uses Free Toast Hosts, you can get to their support through that link. And if your club uses Easy Speak, you can get to their support through that link. And not only that, but the district has, and where are you? We have an Easy Speak support person, William Krause, and we have a Free Toast support person, Susan Brooks, and you can contact them directly. And it's 7:57, and I have gotten through everything. So, Chris, if
Michael,
you
can I
have,
please? Yes, Michael, can I please ask you to go to the under resources, the club jumpstart, and just show that one link. Yeah, the club officer jumpstart. No. Oh, yes. Officer tools. If you go up, officer tools and member resources. It's a link. And that's one of my favorite places to go.
okay, this is a really old page, and I kind of I don't
But I
promote.
love it.
You love it. Okay. Well, maybe I'll add it back on the menu again. Some of this stuff is kind of dated, but you can get the link to the Speechcraft, the YLP uh, stuff from here, and then these series they're still available, but I'm not sure how pertinent they are any longer because we used to get awards through them for competent leadership awards. But anyway, they are still available and the page is still available. So, Chris, maybe I'll put it back on the menu. You kind of got in there through the back door.
Well,
If there's
Michael,
any,
if you haven't heard, they are making changes to pathways in October, and they are going to be incorporating different aspects of the Better Speaker Series, leadership excellence into the higher levels in our paths. So I'm excited that they are bringing back those old tutorials. So I think it is something that clubs can use to rebuild their clubs. They can use it to inform their members and just take a break from the regular speeches to really zone in on some needed things within their clubs. But this was a fantastic tour. And like I said, this is the best web page in Toastmasters International. I've never seen one with all of this information here. Ann Golden, you do have a question.
I want to lower my hand. Michael, that page is going to become very relevant because in the fourth quarter of our Toastmaster year, they will be bringing back the CC manual in a path all by itself. I forget what they're going to be calling it. It's going to be relevant to bringing back something that's a favorite, right? It's not going to be called Competent Communicator, the path, but it's going to be called something else. So that page that Chris is talking about, I love it myself, and I've used that when I've talked about Speechcraft, where they can go and get the Better Speaker Series right here in District 38, as opposed to going to the TI website. So the fact that we have that there is just phenomenal. And I do have, and I've said this to you, but I want to say it here, totally 100% with Chris on this. This is a phenomenal website. I've referred you to other districts. They love our homepage, and you've just done a tremendous job in supporting the members here in District 38. And I can't thank you enough as as a club officer in the past and as a area director and division director. So I can't thank you enough for all the work that you do on our behalf. Tremendous work. So thank you.
Well, you're very welcome, Ann. And to answer your question, you posted a question in the chat. Why isn't the district council meeting posted to the district calendar? That's a decision made by the top three. That's
Okay.
that's essentially it's kind of a by invitation meeting.
Only event, right?
Yeah, and that's why it's not on the calendar, but it
Okay.
is in the timeline here. So
Okay.
people do know when it's there.
Okay.
And let's see.
Carol, do you have a question or a comment?
I just wanted to say, Michael, this was fantastic. I'm just sorry that more people weren't here. This is fantastic.
I'm going to be sharing this with every club. They don't know what they missed tonight, but this is a labor of love. You
Yes.
can tell in how easy it is to navigate and find things, and the host and just layers of information that we have at our fingertips via this webpage. And Michael, thank you very, very much for doing this.
You're very welcome. Carol,
Yeah.
what is it that you send out to the icebreaker?
I send out a ribbon and I send out a card. And I just got 4 more today, so I'm running out of stamps. So I need stamps. But yeah, I whenever you send it, I do it the same day. And I do it within 5 days. I give people 5 days to change their address or something. But I'm usually on top of it.
Well, thank you.
But,
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, as I said, I think this is great. I just wish there was more people here because we could all benefit from it.
Mhm.
Well, it's all available, so all you have to do is click and you'll find everything. I didn't show you anything that's hidden.
It's being recorded, so it'll be out there
Yeah.
for everybody
Yeah.
to view on their own time schedule.
Yes.
I'll
Mhm.
say, Michael, because I work with you so closely, I thought since you were doing this training, I should be here to see what you were going to offer. I'm so glad I came. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Thank
So
you all.
this
Yep.
was a fantastic master class, and we have another one coming up. It is about artificial intelligence. We use it whether you think so or not, but how to use it in Toastmasters and your everyday life as well. So we have a wonderful presenter who just received her master's degree in artificial intelligence, and
Wow.
she's going to be leading us through how we as Toastmasters can use artificial intelligence for a lot of different tasks that our officers and members do in during their membership. So please join us for that. But Michael, again, thank you so very, very much. I always brag about your webpage, and I want to give you the credit that is due.
Well, thank you.
And Chris, I wanted to thank you for your Zoom class on pathways because it helped me a lot to understand pathways a lot better. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everyone, please enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope to see you again at another master class. Have a good night.
Night, everyone.
Good night. Thank